What's up, guys? I'm so excited that the Blackstone Labs results are in for the Toyota Solara, so I can finally finalize that video for you. I'm going to go ahead and share the results with you. We'll go outside and I'll remind you of the car that I'm talking about really quick. Then I'll come back inside in the cooler air conditioning and I'll read you guys out the results. Hopefully, at some point, I'll get the results back on the GR86 as well. I've sent out the oil to Blackstone Labs as well for their analysis. Okay, guys, and as a friendly reminder, the car that we're going to be reading the oil analysis on today is my 2002 Toyota Solara. It has roughly just over 253,000 miles on the clock at the moment, and so we're going to be going over the oil analysis. At the time that the oil analysis was submitted to Blackstone Labs, it had 522 miles on the clock, so it's only got about 500 miles above what it had when I submitted in the oil analysis. Okay, guys, so I'm back in the air conditioning where it's a little bit cooler here in the garage. I don't have the results on the 86 yet. I'm just using it as a backdrop right now. The Solara is just on the other side of this wall outside, but it is really hot. We are going through a crazy heat wave right now, so I'd much rather do this inside of the garage. So, without further ado, the results for the Solara are in, and honestly, I was a little bit surprised. So, I'm going to read you the comments that they provided, and then I will go through the analysis itself. So, they said, "Hey, ATP Garage, this engine looks good in its first round of testing. The wear metals are all reading in good ranges compared to the universal averages, which are specific to this engine type based on about 5,100 mile intervals. This oil run was comparable, so it's great that the wear metals are all average or even a little better in this sample. This engine is wearing very well for the type, and we don't see any obvious problems in these numbers. The viscosity did come in a little thin, but in the absence of excess fuel dilution and excess wear, that's not a big deal." And they actually went on to say, try going as far as 7,000 miles between changes next time instead of every 5, which I thought was pretty cool. One of the things that I asked in the results is, could I get longer engine life or a longer oil life between changes? And that's why they included that in there. So I highly recommend checking that box because they'll give you feedback on whether they deem it reasonable or not. And it's kind of nice that they're actually telling me I can go an additional 2,000 miles between oil changes now based off the results of the oil. And I think that speaks volumes to the actual oil technology we have now. We often talk about the detergents and our apprehensions about changes. A lot of manufacturers, Toyota, recommend 10,000 mile oil changes on some cars. To be fair, the GR86 isn't one of them. My 4Runner off camera right here is actually one of them, which is surprising to me, but I'm only doing every 5,000 miles on that. I just don't trust it. But it is interesting. As the data speaks to it, you can get longer intervals out of the oil change itself. And in my case, I'm going to try that. I actually am going to try changing the oil on the Solara at 7,000 miles instead of 5 this go around. Now, with that being said, they do give you a very thorough report, which is awesome. I'm happy to put information in the comments if any of you are interested in a more detailed analysis. I'm happy to share what they have found. But basically, it goes through the parts, per million, basically, in the oil. And it breaks it down into aluminum, chromium, iron, copper, lead, tin, etc. It goes all the way down the list. Then it also has properties. It shows you the viscosity of the oil, flash point and temperature, fuel percentages, antifreeze percentages, insolubles, and then a couple of other items that were not marked down for my particular report because it's a gasoline engine. Now, one thing I thought was pretty cool, and something that I've often been concerned about with this car, is the antifreeze, because I'm pretty sure I have a small crack in my overflow tank that I have not been able to replicate the leak, and frankly I haven't ever seen the leak, but from time to time it does go down. Usually within about a year, so maybe that's normal for this age of vehicle, but it just made me leery that there potentially could be coolant escaping somewhere. And there may still very well be, it's just not internally in the engine because the percentage of antifreeze found in the oil was 0. And so that makes me feel a lot better about the health of that engine and that it can go on for many more miles to come. Now, if you are a Toyota loyalist or a Toyota owner, you probably know this is not a surprise. Most Toyota engines are bulletproof. There are a few exceptions, like any manufacturer, but a lot of Toyota engines are built very well. Now, with all things being said, they're a mass-produced product. Some people have had experiences with premature failures. Any one of my Toyotas that I own out of the three could blow up tomorrow, and it honestly, I mean, it's just a manufactured machine, and that's the key thing, is it is a machine, so there is no guarantee. But I put my trust in Toyota's engineering because they tend to be reliable. They tend to have more cars that hit over the 300,000 mile point, which is why I enjoy owning Toyotas, particularly for my daily driving vehicles. Now, with that being said, I'm very impressed with this report. I'm very impressed with Blackstone. This was not a sponsored episode. If they would like to sponsor, if they see this video, Blackstone, I'd love to be a sponsor of your guys' products. I think you do a really good job. I think for what you're getting, it's fairly reasonable priced as well. To have an actual laboratory go through and analyze the results of your oil and actually give you this in-depth analysis itself. So I think it's highly worth it. If you have any questions about your car and you actually change the oil yourself, I think this is a good peace of mind. I don't know that you need to do this very often, particularly when you get a report like this back. Now, if I had gotten a report that there were some concerns or there were some items that they had some questions about, I would probably be more inclined to do multiple tests on this, whereas I may only do this once a year, just to periodically check the health of the engine. And I think that's a good peace of mind, frankly, especially with a car that's getting up in age, in mileage, such as the Solara. So again, that's the results for the Toyota Solara. I really do appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned if you like this content and you are interested in the GR86. I have submitted the oil to Blackstone Labs for this car as well. Those results should be coming in the next couple of weeks, and I will make a video on that as well. Also, if you are a GR86 owner or a BRZ owner, there is a ton of information on the internet right now about these cars. Some good, some bad. And so hopefully my oil analysis from Blackstone Labs will answer some of the questions or concerns, at least, for some of those questions. Also, if you're interested in buying a GR86 or a Toyota Solara or a Toyota 4Runner and you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Put down in the comments if you have any questions, if you're interested in particularly this car, if you're interested in purchasing it, or if you're on the fence about purchasing it. I'm happy to answer any questions. I did just cross over the 1,000 mile mark on this car, and so I can answer some questions based off the break-in period and first thoughts, if you will. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.